The Skerwink Trail. Last week I attempted this hike, but I had to bail because it got dark out. Well, this week, today, Sunday, September 1st, I'm getting redemption. I'm glad that I waited for daylight because this is a lot better when you can see. I'm at the lookout at the summit of the Skerwink Trail, and I'm in Gaia GPS marking a waypoint accordingly. I've gone 4 kilometers so far. I probably have about 1 kilometer left to get back to the Jeep. But it's been an awesome trail. Not too strenuous, not too long, and tons of scenery. Finished track. I logged 6.3 kilometers, but I don't think that's accurate because I did a lot of back and forth with the camera. So it was probably more like 5.3. The Skerwink Trail is a wrap, and I had a great time on that. Now it's in the afternoon, I got lunch, and I'm heading toward the southeast peninsula of Newfoundland, toward the city of St. John's, which is the biggest city on the island. But I'm going to do some exploring. This week I have to get some things with the Jeep looked at, and then probably by the end of the week, I don't know where the week is going to wrap up, but I'm going to start thinking about heading north to Labrador. Right now I don't quite know where I'm heading. I'm just driving in the direction of St. John's, and I'll branch off somewhere along the way. Old cement bridge over a swimming hole. Looks like an ATV track, but nothing more. I wish I had cell service. I'd look at my Google satellite view to try to get a feel of where this goes, but it's too narrow for the Jeep. The bridge was dated and stamped 1939. Doesn't look like it had been used since then. road follows the power lines up the mountain. And at its base, there was a sign that said, "Road not maintained, travel at your own risk," which might as well be an open invite. Aside from being delightfully rocky, the Powerline Road itself isn't too interesting. I'm hoping that it branches off or offers an overlook or something like that. Oh wow, it just keeps going. I don't know. There's a beautiful mountainous landscape to the north of the power lines, but I don't think my road's going to turn in that direction. I might end up backtracking because there was a viable campsite down at the start, but I'm already several kilometers in. Look at the curvature of this rock. I'm not a geologist, but I find this really interesting. You can almost picture it in its molten form oozing across the surface of the earth. This landscape is fascinating. All right, that's enough admiring rocks for now. I'm gonna backtrack because I'm losing daylight and I know where there's a place to camp back there that isn't too exposed. Come to think of it, I'm not going to turn around just yet because curiosity has gotten the better of me, and that campsite back there is always going to be there. I saw a road down here, a paved road. I think it's going to connect. I am glad that I didn't backtrack because that route was actually a lot of fun despite being power lines the entire way. It was rough, it was scenic. Now there's still the matter of finding a place to camp for the night. Well, this'll do for the night. I didn't waste any time leaving camp this morning because I'm an early bird and I want to make coffee and I didn't want to disturb the people next to me, so I'll just do that stuff somewhere else. But it's 36 degrees this morning, September 2nd. It's a chilly one. my favorite stove knob stripped. I don't have anything with which to improvise or repair, so for now, I think I'm just going to swap sides. Alright, my coffee situation is sorted. Now I'm off to explore. This is a great spot, and it would have been the perfect place to camp last night, and it was just a little bit further down the road. I'm going to mark it on my GPS. This utility road is the same one that I was on last night, and it's the same deal, unmaintained, use at your own risk. But this time I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm going east, and according to Gaia GPS, it appears to go deep into the backcountry. I'm not quite sure what to expect, but it's a good road. I lost my coffee. I put my coffee mug on my back bumper somewhere. I think I know where it is, but I'm not 100% sure. Alright, so I'm going to keep going until this road ends, and then when I turn around, I'm going to try to find my coffee. Yellow sign indicates that the road passes into a wilderness reserve and that an entry permit is required. I know nothing about that, so without further research, that's enough to stop me in my tracks. Furthermore, I passed a gentleman a little bit ago on an ATV who said that the road ends in about 3 kilometers. So this is where I turn back, but first, I'm going to grab a bite to eat and just stretch my legs for a little bit. It's Monday night around 7 p.m. and I'm at the Lighthouse at Cape Speare, which is a National Historic Site, and it's also the easternmost point in North America. That's right, there is no more east, at least not by Jeep. It's Tuesday morning, September 3rd, near St. John's, Newfoundland. I want to prioritize running some errands today. There's some things with the Jeep that I want looked at, the batteries, and I also want to make sure that it's in good health for my trip to Labrador. Also, I need to restock on groceries and get some coffee. Thank you. A little bit of backstory. As recently as 2 or 3 weeks ago, I noticed my Jeep was cranking more slowly in the morning, signs that the battery is wearing out. Back in May of 2016, I installed these two Odyssey PC1500 batteries with the Genisis dual battery kit. And in fact, that was probably the very first modification I did to the Jeep. The batteries had a decent run, a little over 3 years, but now, very abruptly, they're starting to show signs of degradation. While I'm in St. John's, I figured it was a good opportunity to track down some sort of replacement. And honestly, it didn't matter what kind of battery it was, as long as it was an AGM deep cycle and that it was known to work well with the Genisis dual battery kit. And I found these Optima yellow tops, which are just that, so I should be good to go. It's really windy, and it's supposed to rain in a few hours, and I'm just on a rocky bluff, but this battery swap needs to happen, so I'm going to take care of it now. This is the Genisis dual battery kit. And while this kit is very well thought out and very easy for the layman to install in their JK or JL in about 3 or 4 hours, once you start adding a winch, an air compressor, auxiliary lights, it becomes a cluttered mess very quickly. So that's definitely a consideration about this system. I do recommend it. It's been a lifesaver, but it's definitely hard to be organized with it. In order to make the kit a unified solution, all of the logical components, the isolator and whatnot, are integrated in the battery hold down, which is this bracket that sits on top of the batteries. So I have to disconnect enough here to move the bracketry out of the way and drop the new batteries in. There it is, the brains of the dual battery system. This is all filled with leaves and fragments from when mice were nesting in here. One. Two. Genesis really stands behind their product because I reported to them months ago that I had mouse damage on this cable and this cable, so they sent me replacements. So I can just swap these in and that will all be tidied up. This bracketry fits perfectly into the recesses of the Optima battery, so it was clearly made with the Optima in mind. One thing I might have an issue with is this kill switch for the winch from OK 4-Wheel Drive. This shuts off the power to the winch, so I insert the key and turn it on, and then the winch is powered. So it's safer in a collision, it doesn't start a fire. Now the winch is on. But right now with the Optima batteries, the terminals are closer together than they were with the Odyssey. So I'm hoping that I can just bend this bracket. All set. I did have to bend this bracket a little bit to get the key to fit, but only just a little bit, and it works perfectly. So we are in a good place. So that was my day. We'll see how the Optimas hold up, but honestly, I'm just grateful to have found 2 suitable batteries on the shelf today. I did some calling around this morning, and it wasn't looking good at first, but then the store said, oh yeah, we've got 2 yellow top Group 34s in stock, so just like, okay, and I ran with it. But what I didn't show today was that I also went to the Jeep dealer. I didn't stick around, I was just there to make an appointment for Thursday, which is 2 days from now. It's Tuesday night. I'm just going to have them look it over, front end check, make sure everything's in good working order before I continue up to Labrador, which is happening soon. It's a cloudy Wednesday morning, and it was a bit of a rough night. I managed to get some sleep, but there was a lot of wind and sideways rain. In fact, I woke up this morning and came downstairs to find things wet that hadn't been wet before. The goose gear platform on the passenger side, the rug that's on top of it. My other hat is soaked. I have no idea why. So it was one of those nights, but it'll dry out and I'll eventually figure out where the water was coming in. Alright, I sort of see how things are getting wet. The rain was pummeling the passenger side of my tent last night, so it's dripping down the side of the hatch. First time it's ever happened, but I'm not too concerned about it. It was a lot of rain. I'm out for a walk acquainting myself with the city of St. John's, Newfoundland. There's a lot of cruise ships and working vessels, and a vibrant downtown with some shops that I'd like to visit. I did a little bit of shopping, and I got new underwear while I was in St. John's. Ex officio travel underwear. Breathable, odor resistant, and quick drying. This seems like a win. Look forward to a detailed product review. No, not really, I'm just kidding. It's underwear. Japanese closet. It's Thursday morning and I'm at Hickman Chrysler Dodge Jeep in St. John's, Newfoundland. I'm here for an oil change, a tire rotation, and a peace of mind checkup. And peace of mind is exactly what I need because the Jeep just turned 140,000 miles and I'm traveling even more remote up into Labrador, so now's the time to get that all sorted. While I'm waiting, I'm studying Gaia GPS and downloading maps for Labrador, so I have all the navigation essentials for when I get up there. I heard back from the service counter and they reported that the Jeep is in reasonably good health, except they did find a cracked oil filter housing which was causing an oil leak. It wasn't the problem that I was expecting, but I'm happy to have them take care of it. There's not much to see here, but I should be all set. They did a full checkup, they did a tire rotation, oil change, and the oil filter housing. Alright, it's Thursday night, and I popped the camper in a discreet gravel parking lot outside of St. John's. It's not glamorous, but it's super convenient, so I'll be able to wake up in the morning and head straight into town to do my work. A couple things on my mind. What remains of the devastating Hurricane Dorian is scheduled to pass through northwest Newfoundland on Sunday afternoon. That's exactly when and where I had planned to cross into Labrador. So I'm going to postpone that for a couple days, give the storm some time to pass, and keep my distance. Also, when I do get into Labrador, I don't know how readily I'm going to be able to find internet access, and that might affect my ability to upload a video at the end of the week. If that's the case, and I can't find internet, what I'm going to do is use my Garmin InReach, and via satellite I'll post a message to my Facebook page, venture4wd.com, to let you know if my episode's going to be late, and then next time I find internet access, I'll upload it. But if for some reason the video isn't there on Friday night or Saturday morning, check my Facebook page. I should have an update. Alright, so it was a productive week. The Jeep is in good health, and the new batteries really brought it back to life. So I'm going to call that a wrap. As always, thanks for following along, and I'll catch up with you again next Friday. Hopefully.